Welcome back. Today we're covering page 7 in Tradition of Excellence. So this page is mostly review, although we are going to start seeing some different rhythms than what you've seen before. So we're going to start with exercise 7 at the very top here, making sure that we get a good breath, and you'll notice we now have breath marks that are indicated in the music. So use those breath marks as places to get a good breath. So we'll start with that D as your first note, making sure you've got that great balance and lots of space. If you need a review on that, make sure you watch the Getting Started video one more time just to make sure. So starting with D and getting great breath. So 1, 2, ready. And E flat. F. Great work. So from there, we're going to number 8, which is a rhythm exercise. So take your flute and go ahead and set it down on a solid surface here. And we're going to clap this rhythm while counting. So half notes get 2 beats each, whereas before we were doing whole notes, which get 4 beats. So 2 half notes make the equivalent of 1 whole note. You can think about it as math. 2 plus 2 equals 4. Whole note is 4 beats. So here are our half notes. So I'd recommend you can tap your foot and count while we're clapping. So about 1, 2, 1, 2, ready. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good, and in that one we actually had a half rest as well. So we've seen the whole rest before, which is the equivalent of a whole note just with silence. And now we have a half rest. So to tell the difference between those, think of a whole rest. It looks like a hole that you can fall into, whereas a half rest looks like a hat that you can wear, and that gets 2 beats. All right, so let's try number 9, half note rock. And we are going to play D, E flat, F, E flat, D for this exercise. So if you need to review those notes for yourself first, go ahead and do that. But let's try this one together. So D is our starting note. 1, 2, ready. Great work. And if you need to do that one again because we didn't quite have the right fingering pattern or the notes didn't come out as you intended, that's fine. It's always okay to go back and do it again. But if it went really well, let's go on to number 10. So sight reading is what we're going to try here. It means you haven't practiced this before and you're just basically using clues to help you along. So make sure you look at the music first. Look for any weird stuff, like any leaps that you might see, any weird notes or rhythms that you might find, and then let's try this. So I'm also sight reading here. Let's try number 10. So a little bit slower. How about 1, 2, 1, 2, ready. Good. So I think probably one of the most challenging aspects of that particular one is the breaths. You have to go quite a long ways on one breath. So make sure you plan that out and make sure always when you do have the opportunity to breathe, especially if it's marked, that you're getting a really great breath. So that takes us to number 11, which is a duet. So I'm going to play both parts of this duet, and then you can practice playing both parts along with me, and then we can play A and B at the same time. So if I play A, you play B. If you play A, I play B. Okay, so let's try that. Let's do part A first. So here goes. 1, 2, 1, 2, ready. And here comes part B. Make sure you're sitting up nice and tall and that you're getting a really great breath before you begin. 1, 2, ready. And there you have it. So make sure you play both parts and then experiment with combining. So you're playing A and you're having a recording of B play, or vice versa. All right, finally, number 12 on this page, the cuckoo. So you can go through this in advance and mark in the notes if you need to. Otherwise, try your best to notice where you have skips versus steps in the music. So which note do we start on here? F, good job. All right, so 1, 2, 1, 2, ready. Good for you. And if you need to go back and do it again, please do it again. I would recommend that you go through this whole page at least a couple of times just to make sure everything feels really secure and really good. And then of course on your own, do number 13, which is that ear training exercise. So with that, you have successfully completed the first 4 pages of Tradition of Excellence. Great job.